Hello everyone and welcome! I opened up polls on both our Twitter and Facebook and I let you decide what video you would like to see today. And don't worry, I got a lot of questions from people asking if we could get both videos, and yes, I will make both. The other one will be released after Christmas. But today we've got another episode of Who Would Win. To sum up how the series works, we match two champions against each other and we decide who would win purely based on their power according to the story. As always, I let you suggest matchups on our Discord. And again, I want to avoid one-sided battles, so I pick the more interesting suggestions. So without further ado, let's get on it. Let's start with an easier choice but one that not many of you may know about. Akali vs Zed. Zed is a character we know a lot about. We know that he began as a young student at the Kinko Monastery, there he tried to beat Shen and prove his master he is simply the best, but when the massacre caused by Kada Jin began to cause trouble in Ionia, Shen, Zed and Master Kusho formed a team and together they tracked him down. This gave all three of them valuable experience at the cost of their mental health. The horrors they saw made them all resilient to hard decisions, but their emotions faded with it. This is one of the factors that make Zed such a good leader and a good fighter. On top of that, years in the Kinko Monastery gave him valuable training. When Zed's betrayal, or for that matter Kusho's blindness, made Zed kill his master and claim the shadow techniques, his power grew above everyone else's, as he was the only one using the potential of these sacred techniques. Against him we have Akali. Her story is very clouded since her lore wasn't fully revamped yet, but we know enough to see the outcome. Akali was also a student of the Kinko Monastery, and rumors have it, after the betrayal, she became Zed's student. But even if she was, her powers couldn't match that of Zed. Zed is the master of the shadow techniques, and everyone else understands only a fraction of what he saw. As the events continued, Akali then came to Shen, who accepted her as her personal sidekick. But even the knowledge of both sides can't beat the leaders. Currently, the two strongest ninjas in Ionia are Shen and Zed, and none of their students can overpower them. So this round would definitely go to Zed. Next up we have Jin vs Caitlyn. This would be a more interesting battle. Both of them are snipers, and both of them are good snipers. So if the two ever went against each other, who would rise above? In this case, the answer is actually also easy. Let's have a look at Jin, a man who was imprisoned for his crimes in the deepest underground prison. He started as an artist, a stagehand, but his dark mind allowed him to murder innocent people without leaving a trace. When he was imprisoned, this passion didn't go away. In fact, during the Ionian invasion, a Cabal leader freed him so he could be used as a living weapon. They even armed him with powerful guns filled with enchanted ammo, and deadly traps that can clear entire areas. Against him we have Caitlyn, the sheriff of Piltover who is closely working together with Vi. But for the purpose of this video, let's say that Caitlyn is alone. Let's say that Jin and Caitlyn got instructions to kill each other. In that case, Jin would be ahead on all fronts. Let's look at it from his point of view. He doesn't need to go out and look for Caitlyn. He needs to draw her out. Caitlyn can't do the same. There is nothing Caitlyn could do to draw Jin out. So he already has the advantage. All Jin needs to do is to kill someone to draw Caitlyn to the case. He can then set up his traps and kill whoever approaches the scene. And even if they send another officer and not Caitlyn, Jin can just repeat the process until Caitlyn comes out. Jin has the advantage of anonymity and crime. Caitlyn is held back by law. Normally, the police could set up a trap. They could put up something valuable for the criminals to steal. But Jin doesn't want that. He doesn't need wealth, and he isn't affected by moral dilemmas. All he wants is to see someone die. So Jin definitely has the edge in this case. Then we have Demacia vs Noxus. I know these are not champions, but let's have a look at what would happen if these two nations clashed heads on. First, let's have a look at the base ideas of these two nations. Noxians are conquerors. They expand their territory in order to unite all people under their banners. They value strength above all, for that is what allows them to conquer. But they aren't afraid of using unfair weapons when they get the chance. Noxian army is also known for its powerful warlocks. Their primal source of power is blood magic, a memento left behind by the Darkin. So, when Noxus goes to war, they are able to conquer lands with overwhelming numbers, and with mages behind their backs. The problem is, Demacia can deal with it. Demacia is a kingdom built in an enchanted forest filled with magic dampening materials. Their woods are combined with ash and lime to make petricite, a magic absorbing stone-like material. Petricite is then built into everything, their swords, shields, armor, and even the kingdom's walls. And when the time comes for Demacians to fight away from their home, even during those times, they drag a petricite statue known as Galio behind them. Galio serves as a mobile magic dampening aura, and the legends say that if the statue absorbs too much magic, it comes to life. But let's look at this realistically. If Noxus and Demacia declared war, it would be Noxus who would march onto Demacia. Noxians are conquerors, they are the ones who take the land. So if that happens, they couldn't use magic. They would have to rely on sheer numbers, but Demacians can deal with that too. Demacian warriors are loyal and disciplined. They are trained in squads so their synergy can beat enemies in larger numbers. It makes sense since Demacia is a very protective nation. Their entire lives they stood back and defended their lands against mages of all kinds, so they are well experienced at repelling attackers. On top of that, they would be the ones covering behind walls, so the chances of Noxus beating Demacia are very slim. The only case where Noxus could win would be if they used Zonaite weapons again. Since it is not magic, Demacia couldn't deal with that. But if that happened, if Zone supported Noxus, Piltover would help Demacia, and their weapons would be far more destructive. So in any case, Demacia would always have the greater odds. Now, let's jump onto another very interesting matchup. Evelyn versus Ahri. Now this would be a battle for debates. On one side we have a demon, a creature entirely based on the spirit realm. Mortals can see her only because she eventually figured out how to don a physical body. Evelyn's powers allow her to seduce her prey and feed on its agony. She can use shadows to seamlessly blend into the environment, and when the time to strike approaches, she uses two-bladed tentacles to slide her foes, or her prey. Since she is a demon, she can hide inside the spirit realm so humans can't see her. But that won't fool Ahri. Ahri is a Vastaya, a creature connected to both the physical and the spirit realm. She wields the power to consume life essences together with the memories of her prey. And here is the issue. We don't know if Ahri can consume Evelyn's memories. Evelyn is technically timeless, or at least that's how demons are described. So I don't think something like a memory would even be a concept to a demon. Ahri also has the weakness of a physical body. Even though the Vastaya are hybrids of physical and spirit beings, their physical body is what keeps them together, and without it they are just free souls. Evelyn, on the other hand, lived most of her life as a spirit. She roamed around, absorbed emotions and evolved, and that is something Ahri can't deal with. Even if Evelyn was beaten in the physical world, she would come back eventually, and that's why Evelyn would most likely win. And now onto the last battle of this episode. Oriana versus Blitzcrank. I was surprised to see this matchup being so popular. Apparently a lot of you wanna know which robot is more powerful. Well, let's have a look. First of all, Oriana is not really a robot. Yes, all her flesh was replaced with metal parts, but originally she was a girl. She wasn't built for a purpose, she is simply the outcome of science getting too far. Blitzcrank, on the other side, was built with one purpose: to save those who were poisoned by Zone's accidents. Blitzcrank was created by Victor. He is a self-learning durable machine capable of repairing itself. In his stories, Blitzcrank has proven that his goal is to save all life in danger, and his powerful metal fists are usually enough to do the job. And although his retractable grappling fists are no real weapons, It is more than what Oriana has. Oriana's only way to protect herself is to rely on her companion ball. The ball is able to release magnetic or electric shock fields, but that's pretty much it. Should someone take the ball down, Oriana would be left defenseless. And that shouldn't be a problem for someone who can deal with it from a distance. Blitzcrank can simply shoot his arm at the ball in order to crush it. But even if his arm wasn't enough, he can still craft himself better weapons. Remember that Blitzcrank is a conscious self-learning machine created by Victor. He can definitely figure out a way to beat Oriana. Oriana, on the other hand, doesn't have the brilliant mind programmed in. She is literally the same old girl but remade as a machine. She is more precise, she has better reactions, but she can't really evolve beyond what she is. Blitzcrank can. And that's why he would win the Battle of Robots. And that's pretty much it for this video. I want to wish you all great holidays and a wonderful Christmas season. And I hope to find you back here when I release the next video. As I said, it might be the history of my channel. But that's it for now. So thank you all so much for watching and for your support, I really appreciate it. And as always, thank you, come again.